Hey everybody, Josh Weinstein here, and we are coming at you. Peyton is with us, and we have a special guest today. The one and only Mr. Don Benjamin is going to be chatting with us today. What's up, Don?
What's going on? Yes, sir.
Good to see you. Good to see you. How's dad life treating you?
Dad life is great. Not much sleep, but it's all worth it.
Yeah,
I feel the same way, and I don't have a kid. Josh is kind of
Still
my
no
kid.
sleep.
Yeah.
yeah. Peyton kind of takes care of me, and he's like, dude, you have to go to sleep now. Lets me know when I have to go to sleep.
Yeah.
But
He's the
yeah,
father figure.
he he tries to be. He tries to
Yeah.
be.
That's why I look like I've had sleep, but he doesn't, even though I haven't.
So we just kind of want to take today, man, and just pick your brain about entertainment, about male modeling, about being an influencer, and your story, your come up, man. Just kind of chat with you a little bit about the life that Mr. Don Benjamin lives these days. Most people don't know how glamorous it is, but I've been there and I've seen it, and it's quite glamorous.
It is glamorous, I must say. Sometimes I gotta pinch myself to see if
Yeah.
it's real.
Yeah.
But before we even get into that, though, believe it or not, there might be somebody watching that actually doesn't know who Don is. Give us your intro. I know this like multi-hyphenated at this point, but like, how do you even intro yourself these days if you have to?
Well, I mean, most people know me from America's Next Top Model. Some people know me from having millions of followers on Instagram. Some people know me from being a international fashion model, Guess, True Religion, Bloomingdale's. I mean, the list goes on. It's hard to say what. I don't know. The cool thing is I do so many things that people know me from all different aspects. But yeah, I guess actor, fashion model, film producer is kind of the title.
And most recently, a superhero.
And a superhero to my newborn daughter. Yes, sir.
Yes, Mr. Needleman in the building, everybody.
Mr. Needleman. Like I got jokes.
All right. So yeah, tell us really how you got started. Tell us about your journey. You moved to LA when? When did you move?
Man, I moved to LA in 2006. I went on America's Next Top Model in 2013. And a lot of people thought that that was like my start of everything. But I had been living in LA for 7 years leading up to Top Model, man. And, I came to LA and I was like, I'm going to move to LA. I was fresh out of, I think I did like a semester of college. And I'm like, yo, I'm moving to LA. I'm about to blow up. I'll be in LA right away and things are just going to stick. And I got to LA and realized like everybody out here has that dream and it's not as easy as it seems. And it took me 7 years of really like grinding and figuring it out, like living in a 1 bedroom apartment with four of my homeboys and trying to get like 9 to 5 jobs and being denied by every agency in LA and going to a million auditions and the whole struggle of I was a club promoter. I literally was just trying to figure out everything that I could to survive so that I did not have to go back to Minnesota because I knew that LA was where it was, but I didn't realize it was going to take like 7 years for something to finally stick. So yeah, man, when America's Next Top Model finally stuck, and I was like, yo, it was all worth it. All those days of eating ramen noodle soup and oatmeal cream pies and McDonald's for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It was all worth it. My stomach may be suffering now, but my pockets ain't.
Or your heart.
Well, we can definitely do that when we were young. But a McDonald's diet now for me, I would be like 300 plus pounds.
Oh man, yeah, I
It
couldn't
would
I
be
couldn't do it
crazy.
nowadays, but
Yeah.
it got me here. So.
So you think Top Model was like the one thing that really kind of set it up for you to get you going?
Oh, for sure. I think, because up until that point, I was doing a ton of like background work. I would, I was like doing little jobs here and there where I may get hired to model for somebody's company for like $75 or $100 for, a 10-hour day. And it was like the most bootleg shoot. And then, as I started to grow my Instagram, I think I was like, honestly, I was like one of the first like rounds of people who had like a lot of followers. Like I think I had like 50,000 followers. And back then that was like having like a million or 2 million followers. Like
Right.
you had the K next to the number, people were like, yo,
You
and
on.
I hit the streets
You
and
are
like,
on.
yo, I see you. So between like growing my social media and learning how to like really take advantage of Instagram and Top Model, and also being in LA for those 7 years before going on Top Model, I kind of understood the business. So for me, I was like, all I need is some kind of opportunity to get on TV, and I'll know how to like really capitalize off that opportunity. Because again, there's a lot of people that go on America's Next Top Model that you don't really see or hear nothing about them after the show. And you're like, what happened to so and so? Or are
Right.
they still working? What are they doing? And so for me, I was like, I did not want to be one of those people. I need to figure out how to really take advantage of this opportunity and expand it as much as I can. So that was definitely my door. I always talk to Tyra, and every time I talk to Tyra, I'm like, yo, like, it does not go unnoticed that you are the reason why I'm here. You know what I mean? And
Right.
so
Right.
for sure.
That's good, man. Like, staying humble and really giving that respect to your mentors. And I feel the same way. I learned from a guy, George Gammon. He's a rebel capitalist now, and he's kind of the one that really brought me into like entertainment and the business of what we do on the production side of things. And I left. I was actually a general manager of Ducati motorcycles, and I was making like $120,000 a year. At that time, was really good money.
Yeah.
And I met this guy, and I looked at kind of what he was doing, and I like admired it almost. And I was like, what is it? I was like that guy. I was like Jonah Hill on Wolf of Wall Street. Show me a
Right.
check, and I'm working for you. It literally was like that, man. And I left that job, that security, and I went on the road making like $1,200 a month, like barely like anything, just to learn and to like understand. So I get it. I
You
understand
gotta,
that.
you gotta. I think every entrepreneur story is all similar, where it's like you gotta take that leap of faith on yourself and bet on yourself and go on that journey. You know what I'm saying? Where you have stability and you have a guaranteed check coming in, but you have to kind of let that go to get to that next level. You know what I mean?
Right. And that's what sets, entrepreneurs apart from, the regular degular, like
Fact.
people, you got to take that risk. That risk is really where that reward is going to be at the end of the day. So, but I respect you. I respect your grind and how far you've come, man. Like, we've been friends for
A decade now,
a
man.
long time, a long
Yeah.
time, and running the streets a long time ago to where we
Right.
are now, and it's like, we're gentlemen, we're business owners, and it's I definitely respect everything that you've done in your life and where you are today. So
Man, likewise, man. Thank you.
for sure. So so what do you think you would tell your younger self, like starting out, or maybe not yourself, but people that are getting into entertainment now, you know what I mean, that are just
Yeah.
have the bright eyes, they want to come out to Hollywood, like what would be like some words of wisdom that you would say to like people just kind of starting out getting into the industry?
I think you gotta have patience. You gotta have determination. You have to have structure in your life. I think those three things are like really key, because it's it we want things to happen right away, and a lot of times it doesn't. So you got to have
Right.
the patience to, what I'm saying, you have to have the patience to wait it out. You got to have the determination to stick it out and know that it's going to happen. But then you also have to have structure, because when you're an entrepreneur, you're your own boss, so you're in control of your own schedule. And what happens is it's easy to let a day go by, and then a week, and then a month, And then before you know it, a whole year has gone by and you haven't really tackled anything. Really haven't been productive. You know what I'm saying? So if you don't have structure and scheduling out what your day looks like, what are you going to get done to further yourself, then you're not going to get nowhere. You're going to wake up and be like, damn, I wanted to do a photo shoot, but I kind of waited to see if anybody was going to hit me up, and instead of being proactive, you waited and a whole month went by when you could have did something on your own, or starting a business. Like, you have to be proactive and figure out, what does it take to start a business? Do I have to go get an LLC? How much is it going to cost to get an LLC? Like, it's so much structure and determination that goes into entrepreneurship, because we control our own destiny. And so that's one thing I would tell my younger self, because when I was younger, I used to just kind of party, and I'd wait for opportunities more so than create them. There would be a lot of days and time that I could have did more effective and efficient than kicking it and partying. And I definitely could have cut that. I probably would have cut that 7 years in half. You know what I mean?
Right, right. I agree. I agree. I agree, but anyways, my story's a little different.
But again, I'm not even gonna knock partying though, because a lot of my relationships that I have in this industry, I met from some wild nights out, you know what I mean, and partying. So networking, I tell people a lot of times, networking is key. You know, if you don't have to be at a party going binge crazy, but you do have to put yourself in places where you're gonna brush shoulders with people that can help you advance your career as
For
well. You know what
sure.
I mean? You're not gonna if you're trying to be a fashion model or an actor or a business owner, you're not going to meet nobody if you're sitting in your house every day. You have to go to these events and be around people that are doing what you want to do. So I don't knock all the late nights and partying either, because I met a lot of people that I now work with and call my friends and associates.
Yeah, that'll be my excuse from now on.
I'm not going to buy it. So a lot of people that are watching this, they're interested in getting involved in this industry in some capacity, are kind of in a similar situation where they're just waiting for something to happen, or they're trying to create something for themselves, or waiting for their platform. It might not be America's Next Top Model these days, but
Yeah.
waiting for some platform to put themselves out there. How would you kind of rebuild yourself, knowing everything that you know now? You're in Omaha. What do you do?
Right.
Well, before you get into this, I mean, besides the absolutely amazing opportunity of preview models,
Right.
what would you do to get started?
Which
You
is a
have to do
platform,
you
so
have
we're
to
getting
do
there.
things like preview models. You have to put yourself in all types of positions to get opportunities and get seen. Like, if I'm in Omaha, Nebraska, and a preview models comes through and they're putting on a show in LA in front of some of the top agencies, then that's one of my opportunities that I'm going to try to jump on, because it's like, okay, they're going to fly me and put me in this show. I can now show off my talents in front of some agencies. But beyond that, what else am I going to do? I'm going to make sure I'm doing social media every day, because social media is running the world. So I'm going to be figuring out a way to build my brand on social media. I'm going to be creating content every day. I'm going to find ways to get viral content on TikTok or Instagram. I'm going to find ways to connect with brands on social media. You know what I mean? I'm going to be trying to find aspiring photographers in Omaha, Nebraska, or whatever city I'm in, that I
Right.
can collaborate on and build with. Like, these were things that I was doing before Top Model. I was on Instagram hitting up photographers that may just be starting their career as well, that I may have to pay them $100, or we can collaborate and do it for free because we're both trying to build. But I'm doing that outreach. I'm putting myself in different positions. Are there different random local fashion shows that are going on that I can try to get into? You know what I mean? You have to put yourself in position to be seen and be out there. If I'm in Omaha, maybe I'm going to figure out what the major market is that's closest to me, which I believe, I don't know, is maybe like Chicago.
Probably Chicago
you
around
know,
there.
but I'm going to try to find the next major market and schedule some weekends that I may have to drive to Chicago and do some stuff. You know what I mean? Like, you got to put your, like, I up and packed and moved to LA with, I took a student loan out for $2,000, and I never paid that student loan back.
Where's the
It's
button
okay.
to the
7 years it
disclaimer that
falls
we're
off.
supposed
Don't
to
worry
write
about
on?
it.
It fell off. You know what I mean? It fell off at that 7-year mark when I did top model. It fell off. But
So
yeah,
You
you
woke
know,
up one day and you woke up one
this is
day and
turning
had
into a different type of like tip and trick type
you know,
show.
but I took a risk on myself. You know what I mean? And I was like, I'm gonna take this money. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna move to LA. I think I had my mother bought me like a $500 car that I drove across country, and I just figured it out. I was like, I can't be in Minnesota if I want to be in the entertainment industry. So, you know, things are a little different nowadays. Like, you don't have to necessarily be in the major markets. There's a lot of castings that you could do self tapes for. There's a lot of things where, like, you can book jobs. You can do social media in smaller markets and still grow a following and a platform. So things have changed a little bit, but you still have to be in the mix of what you're trying to do. If I'm trying to be a doctor, I'm not going to be taking theater classes Monday through Friday. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to
right.
be going to college to be a doctor. So you have to do all things that surround around what you're trying to do. So social media is it nowadays. Castings, networking events, preview models, local talent shows, local fashion shows. There's all these things that are constantly going on.
Right. Gaining experience, even on a
Experience.
smaller level, just to really kind of get
Yes,
an
exactly.
understanding of it. Yeah.
Practicing in the mirror. Like, I would practice poses in the mirror from sun up to sundown. I'm looking at magazines. I'm on Google studying what the top working models are doing, what kind of body movements are they doing, what kind of poses are they doing. I'm trying to learn how to reenact these things. Like, studying. You can still study. People think just because it's an entertainment industry, you don't have to study, but you still have to study. You have to learn. Like, people think that they could just wake up and walk on the runway, and that's not how it goes. People think they could just wake up and do a photo shoot, but it 9 times out of 10 you're not going to be prepared, and it's not going to
Right.
turn out right. You
Yeah.
know?
I think that's one major misconception, is that a lot of people think that, oh, I look amazing and I'm just going to get found and it's just going to magically happen for me. Like, LA Models is going to walk in the door and be like, oh my God, you are
Right.
beautiful. Here's a Target campaign. Go knock this out. Right.
Right.
But, they don't know that, like, actors, models, singers, dancer, it's a constant investment in yourself. You're constantly
Constantly.
building your brand. You're constantly just getting better. And I don't think the education of it ever stops. You're constantly learning. If you want to be the best in what you're doing, you have to constantly grow yourself and you have to constantly invest in yourself. And I think that's one of the major misconceptions out there, is like,
For
people just
sure.
like think it's just going to magically happen and they don't have to do anything for it.
For sure. I mean, yeah, even before top model, I invested thousands of dollars. After top model, invested thousands of dollars. Like, we've invested hundreds of thousands of dollars into our dreams, and we're still pouring out money to this day. Sometimes I still get photo shoots where I may not get paid for, or I may have to pay a photographer because I need a new portfolio and I need to work with a new photographer, and I got to pay their rate. You know what I mean? And so it never really stops. And that's one thing, is people, I hear a lot where they're like, oh, I want to be a model, or I want to be a actor, or I want to be this, that, and the third. And they don't think that they have to invest in it. But classes cost a lot of money. Acting classes cost money. Acting coach costs money. Modeling classes cost money. Your modeling portfolio to print it out costs money. Your digital, like, everything in this world costs, and you have to invest in yourself. Unfortunately, you know what I mean? I wish I didn't, but
Yeah, I agree. I had a good friend of mine who's on a TV show. She's on a reality television show. I won't say any names, but she currently just moved to LA, and she's finding out it's not that easy. Even being on TV, it's not that easy.
Yeah.
Going to acting classes. She's signed up and paying $400 a month for acting classes. Like, just because you
Mhm.
might think you're beautiful or talented doesn't mean that you don't need to constantly learn the craft of what you're getting into, on a
Right.
top level.
Right.
And everybody's finding that out. They find it out when they come to LA, like, oh, well, I shouldn't have to pay for any acting classes. Okay, well, you're not going to get any jobs.
Right. Right. For real, man. It's interesting, but it comes with maturity too, and learning. But yeah, those are definitely things that I've learned along the way that have helped me advance. And that's why I tell people too, a lot of times, like, a lot of people are like, do I just quit my job, or do I just stop working a 9 to 5 altogether? And it's different. Like, sometimes you can do that, but sometimes it's smart to have some kind of security to where you're making some money and you can be investing what you're making. You know what I mean? Like, you find a job that has flexible hours, so that way it doesn't hinder you from whatever auditions or castings you have to do, or self tapes or shooting. But you have something to where you're making some kind of money, because then if you go out on a limb and you're like, whoa, I'm just going to cut cold turkey, like how you did with Ducati, like you took that chance and it ended up paying off. But there's some times where it doesn't pay off, where you're not making any money for a couple years, and now
Right.
you're, oh, and then you can't really pour your all into your craft because you're stressed or you're worrying, like, so again, it's structure, it's balance. You have to find balance in these things, because there, again, there's a lot of different ways to carry yourself on in this industry, but it takes time and patience and determination, structure, dedication.
Yeah. But I mean, how sweet are the fruits of your labor?
Oh man, I mean, the it's like no other. Once it finally clicks and you're able to buy your dream cars and your dream houses and help your family members, put food on the table, not just for yourself, but for people in your family, and help people that you don't know, and travel the world. And like, I'm sitting in my movie room right now, which is crazy because I could barely even go to the movie theaters, let alone have a movie room in my house. But it's like all these things that you dream about, when they finally start to click and you're like, oh my God, the fruits of my labor, and then you get hungry for more. It's like, what's the next level? Because there's always going to be levels. Like, people think that once you get to one level, then you're just chilling. But it's like, once you get here, what's next? Then what? You know what I mean? So it's, if you have it in you, if you have that desire in you, like, you're always hungry for more. And I feel like in order to make it in the entertainment industry, like, you have to have that burning desire for, like, more in life. you know if you're coming into it and you're like, I just want a easy path, I just want to be rich easy, or whatever, like, good luck.
Yeah, go play the lottery. Good
Good
luck.
luck. Go play the lotto.
Yeah, there you
Like,
go. I mean, I've seen the fruits of your labor, and I mean, I'm impressed. Every time I come down the street to your house, and I'm like looking around like this, I'm like, golly, this guy,
it's
it's
crazy.
insane. And then when I come, and it's like, it's just like it's you
Man,
know
but you too, bro. Like, I be looking like it, like, I get motivated by watching you. Like, even if it's the little things where it's like, oh, I'm taking a trip, I'm about to go buy some property over here in Colombia, or you showed off the little Hublot watch. You got, like, that's the thing too, is like, people. Another key thing is, like, you can't be intimidated by other people's success. You can't be jealous of other people's success. You have to be
absolutely.
motivated by it, and you have to clap for other people's success, because it's only going to bring more success your way. And so, like, every time I see you going up, like, I'm happy, because I'm like, bro, he's winning. Like, that's inspiring. I got to go do some more work. And I feel like that's a thing that hinders a lot of people in this industry and in this world, is like, they'll see somebody's success and it'll almost like they'll have like negative outlooks on it. Like, Josh has this company, like, oh, what is he's making this money and he's doing this, and I don't know if I can mess with, like, there's a weird like jealousy, and all you're doing is hindering yourself.
Right.
And that's a real big thing in this industry. Like, you have to look at other people's levels of success and know that your time is coming as long as you stand true to your root.
Absolutely. And I mean, I'm right there. I brag about your success all the time, man. Every time I come there, I'm like, yeah, this guy's house is us. I mean, next level. I know Peyton hasn't been there yet, but
Oh yeah,
I
you
mean,
gotta come through.
it's beautiful, and I'm
I've
definitely
seen a
proud
lot of
of.
pictures, and
I'm
obviously
definitely.
y'all do videos.
You can
there
look at it on MTV Cribs if you need to.
Well, there you go. Is that your episode, or was that when somebody else was in it? Is that show still around?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is.
Just go to MTV.com. You can look
Yeah.
at it.
And it's when you're in it, right? Or is it the prior owner?
No, it's us. We do the
It's
tour,
y'all.
man.
Okay.
Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, him and his beautiful wife,
It's
Leanne.
our
If you don't know,
episode.
he's married to Leanne V, social media queen. And they just had a baby. So also, Don, tell us about, I wanted to touch on, I know you have a new skin product line out, or beauty product out. What would we call that? Beauty products?
I call it just a skincare line, Lave Skincare. I wanted to simplify your daily skin routine, because me as a man, like, I don't really have a skincare routine. You know what I mean? And I feel
I'm right
like
there. I'm right there with
I
you.
didn't get one until I got a girlfriend and now a wife, and then kind of trying to steal her routine. But even her routine was so complex, where it's like, oh, face mask, and then wash, and then this, and then something for spots, and X, Y, and Z. And I'm like, I'm just trying to get up and go. And so I wanted to create like a product that's easy to use, and it's literally a 2-step spray on skincare product. It's a serum and a moisturizer, and it keeps your life simple, but it helps keep you youthful, especially for men. It's a unisex line, but it makes men's life easier, so we can literally just spray and go, and you don't got to think about your routine, or spray and go to sleep at night, and you don't got to overthink it. So it's called Lave Skincare, and I'm super excited about it, man.
Yeah,
Because
is there a website to buy that on?
yeah, so it's laveskin.com.
Okay, maybe we can put it right here.
We
There
can
it is.
definitely put it there. And then how difficult would it be to get Josh some of that? Because he definitely needs something.
Oh,
I know, like, dude, you're one of my closest friends, and I only got.
years old. My man looks 22 years old, but I'll definitely get a care package out. I based it off of Josh. I was like, I need something to make me look similar to how Josh's skin looks, because that boy
my
is
god,
22.
You clearly have not been up and close and personal to him in a while. I traveled with him for 13 days, and it was pretty tragic.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
It's getting out of hand. Okay, I'm gonna get him some Lave, then get him.
Yeah.
I definitely need some Lave. I've seen it. I want to definitely try it though. So like in the end of the night, you just use a serum, wipe your face,
Yeah,
and
so
spray it.
you don't even gotta wipe. You just spray on this serum. You let it dry. It dries up in like 15 seconds. Spray on the moisturizer, and then just go to sleep. Like, you
Yeah.
don't gotta.
What was the inspiration to make that?
Well, the inspiration for me was I wanted something quick and effective.
Yeah.
And for me, like, I spray on my cologne, and I was just like, what can I create that is something that I feel like men use? We have our spray on deodorant, spray on cologne. I've never really like thought about like a spray on skincare. And so we created this, like a easy 2-step process. So that was really the inspo for me, was like, how can I make this organic to most like men's daily regimens?
For sure. I'm definitely gonna need some of that.
Is it good for like your beard as well, or do you have to like keep it off that?
It's not really, doesn't do anything for the beard, but I'm sure it will seep into the beard and put the skin. But I have I need to create another beard product now that I've been growing my beard out. Because right now I'd use other brands' beard serums to keep my beard moisturized.
Yeah. You have to make your own brand
now
there.
Lave will come out with a beard serum next.
Yeah, that was, I think, one of my things is Peyton and I obviously travel a lot around the world, And like I always look at him do his like face stuff, like, and he's like putting donkey crap on his face and like doing
I
all
mean, I
kinds of
would
weird
if there
stuff.
was some good research behind it.
I definitely need to figure something out to stay moisturized for sure.
He got a good skincare regimen.
He
Oh,
does. He
it's
does. I gotta say.
pretty extensive, yeah. But I didn't start overnight, so we're starting from ground zero with Josh.
Also, want to touch on. So, I mean, you've been very successful as a model, as an entrepreneur, actor. I know that you've been in some movie roles lately. You have a movie out. Also, you have a television show coming out called
Yes, sir.
Just for Kicks.
Yes, sir. I have a show coming out called Just for Kicks. We interview a ton of different athletes, actors, musicians, talking about style and fashion, playing some fun games. So I'm excited about that. My movie North of the 10 is out right now on Amazon. So you can stream that. It's on Amazon Prime. And I'm actually filming another movie next month, a horror film. So I'm locked in producing these films, starring in them. Just for Kicks is going to be crazy.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. I heard you have some of your close friends as producers on there.
Yeah, man, I got my close friend Josh Weinstein on there. Ryan Lamar's on there with me.
And we haven't talked about also your book. You're a best-selling author at this point now, and
Yeah,
kind
man.
of writing about your journey in everything.
Yeah, man. My guy Josh has been with me through different phases of my life, which is crazy. But um, I had a pretty public breakup from Leanne, and I kind of just sat back and had to like reevaluate my life and what I was doing and influences in my life. And as I started to look around, I was like, man, I don't really have like uh the influences that I had around me were kind of we were all doing the same thing. Like, and so I had to kind of go outside of what I was used to and what I knew and talk to like Devon Franklin and Teray Roberts and Tony Gaskins and people that, they were young, wild, and free and decided that they wanted to take their life more in like a spiritual lane. And so for me, I was like, I came up in a single parent household, and my father was in and out of my life, and I partied a lot and drank a lot, and I did a lot of things that really weren't the most healthy for me. And so I wanted to put what I learned into a book, for to help men out there that may be kind of going through the same things I'm going through. Because at the time I was going through like a real like spiritual battle, a mental battle. And I was like, either I'm going to try to change some things up in my life, or I'm just going to continue down this same path. And I put it in a book called My Truth, and, talk about my failures. I feel like a lot of people talk about their wins, but they don't talk too much about their failures. And so for me, I wanted to talk about some of my failures and lessons that I learned, instead of just talking about, the money I've made and the shows that I've been on. Like, give some people a look into the struggles that I face on a daily and insecurities that I've had in my life. So that's My Truth, man. And it's on Amazon, and I was thankful enough for it to be a bestseller, which is crazy that I'm a best-selling author right now. Talk to me a little different.
Yeah, no, all those failures. If I could only, I mean, we don't have enough time to talk about all my failures because there's been quite a few. But you don't need to comment on that. I was already owning to it, anyways.
Yeah.
But even that first preview models show that we did, the first ever one, in the Supper Club. You remember that one?
Yep.
Well, what everybody didn't know was like I couldn't pay the bill. I couldn't afford it. I could not afford it at the end of the night.
Nobody did.
And nobody knew. And it's like, I was struggling to kind of keep everything going. And you remember Jeremy, I mean, I told him, I'm like, hey, grab the banners. We got to get out of here. I couldn't pay it. I didn't have any
Crazy.
money. You know, we have this vision. We have this, you
Right.
know, of what things can be, but you know, we didn't. I didn't put in the work and the structure and everything that you're talking about here to really understand how to make it successful. And I learned how to make it successful through the failures, you know,
Yeah.
through
I
the
mean,
downs of everything that we had to do. So
you gotta have failures to get to, you know, the wins. Like the failures come with the wins, and you gotta embrace your failures. You know, a lot of people, they, you know, they lose out on opportunities with jobs or relationships or health, or, you know, they don't get that big audition they were hoping for. And, you know, only the strong survive. If you let your failures break you, you will never reach your true potential, man. And that's one thing that I'm still learning till this day. You know, like I'm still figuring it out. I'm still taking losses in different aspects. It's just I'm no longer gonna take losses over that in that aspect, you know. And
right,
then it's like that's the thing about life is like chapters and seasons, you know. And if you look at some people, they just keep repeating the same thing over and over, and it's like, dude, how many times are you gonna keep taking an L in that same category before you
right,
and again, everybody's different. Like everybody's journey is different. Everybody has different things they got to learn. So like your losses that you have to keep facing may be different from the stuff that I got to go through. But until you overcome that, like obviously you were like, okay, I couldn't pay for this club this night, but you learn how to make sure that didn't happen the next show. Like you had your ducks in order. You know what I'm saying? So
I hear you.
there's
Yeah,
some
no,
people
for
that do
sure.
that 10 times and they're like, man, I still ain't paying for these shows 10 times in. And now they banned from the whole state of California. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right. Yeah. Fast forward to now, and you know, we have Nick Cannon hosting.
That's
You
what
know
I'm
what I
saying,
mean?
bro.
The
It's
Jabberwocky's
crazy.
performing. I mean, you know, you're there. I
It's
mean,
crazy.
it's just been you know, such a blessing. I feel blessed. And you know, now we have Paris coming on, virtual auditions, so many things coming on. And even Peyton's taken a lot of losses over the years. I mean, you look at his hair now and it looks
He
nice.
just doesn't have hair loss. He don't take
You
hair
know,
loss.
but if you would have seen
Yeah,
his hair like 6 years ago, I think we could let's put a picture up of Peyton's hair.
yeah, that's never gonna happen.
Oh,
So,
well, we're not gonna, oh my god. It was
yeah.
like,
Luckily, I'm not like a social media star, and so that's gonna be very, very hard to dig up. Yeah.
oh no, I have it. I actually
Oh,
have
I
it.
know you have it,
So I'll
but
make sure that it's on here
Pull it up.
because
Pull
yeah.
it up.
bro,
Where are we gonna put it right here?
I'm gonna put it right there. Yep, and it's gonna be. It was all across his face, like almost covering
Yeah.
one eye, like straight down. And he took a L, and he didn't know it. But
Yeah.
now, you know,
I
now
have
he
like
looks
I just have so much on my phone right now that I'm just waiting for Josh to become just a little
Hilarious.
bit more famous for, so I can just finally get like a good payout from TMZ.
Ah,
So you go ahead and post that picture.
ah. Oh my God.
Oh man.
That's good.
Okay. So you know what, man? I really appreciate you, you know, coming on and talking with us and you know, spreading knowledge about entertainment and things that you've learned. I mean, what advice, I guess, you know, kind of ending the conversation here, would you give to, you know, the people that have been on here, just watching you, watching the journey, wanting to get started and stay hungry? You know, we've given them some great knowledge, but you know, just kind of ending advice you're giving people that are getting started in entertainment.
Leanne's over here looking.
What's up, Leanne?
Hi. Sorry.
No, you're fine.
I mean,
No
most
worries.
definitely, again, patience, determination, structure. But I think ultimately, if you don't give up and you really know what you want and you work hard for it, I know it sounds cliche, but it's like if you stay true to it, eventually it's going to take off. And sometimes it's 2 years, sometimes it's 10 years, sometimes it's 20 years, but ultimately it happens. And that's the one thing that I've seen, not even for myself, but just other people that I admire, is that it took time for them for things to happen, and they just stayed true to it. They stayed working at it, and eventually it paid off. And I think that's the biggest thing in this industry is like, it takes time, You just got to stay true to it, put the work in, don't slack off, and it'll pay off.
For sure, for sure. Determination is definitely key, I think, in the industry for sure. All right, Peyton, you have any closing pieces that you'd like to talk about before we get off here?
Yeah, we just filmed in LA, 2 weeks ago. And I think we had 12 different celebrities there. You were there, Don. And the same thing that came up every single time is what you're saying now is, determination, discipline, structure. Every single person, said that.
Man,
so
I've watched interviews. Like, I used to watch a lot of interviews with like Samuel L. Jackson and Denzel and a lot of actors, and they all Bryan Cranston, like they all kind of said the same thing, where it was like, you got to have determination, you got to have patience, and it took them all, like a lot of them, they didn't even get their breaks until they were in their 40s. You know what I mean? Like, so you like imagine like if you were like, man, nothing's gonna happen until I'm 43 years old. Like, most people are gonna be like, man, forget that. I'm going to get a job at Target or whatever. You know what I mean? Like,
Right,
who wants to wait till they're 43? But in all reality, that's still so young in comparison. Like, once you finally get there. So, but it takes those things. That's everything that I hear from all like my idols, is it really takes those things, and that's the one thing that I'm learning as well.
Well, I appreciate you today, man. So this has been words of wisdom and advice from the one and only top model, actor, entrepreneur, model, musician, social media influencer, Mr. Don Benjamin. We appreciate you, man. Thank you for coming on with us and spreading the knowledge.
Yes, sir.
And I look forward to many years of planning and growing and building things with you along the way, and see what we can create, man.
Likewise.
Yeah, for sure. And if you guys are looking to get into entertainment, keep watching, because we have a lot more coming from you. From now, this is our time with the one and only Mr. Peyton, Mr. Don Benjamin, and we are out.